Hey, deep divers, welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and leave us a comment below. We love hearing from you.
Yeah,
Today,
absolutely.
we are diving into the wild world of the 2024 election
Ooh, exciting.
with a fascinating article from the Daily Beast titled 7 Signs That Point to Kamala Harris Defeating Trump.
Okay.
It's October 24th, the final stretch of the race, and this article throws some serious curveballs.
It does.
Buckle up because we're about to explore whether these signs point to a genuine upset or just some last-minute political drama.
Yeah, it's fascinating because this article challenges the widespread assumption of an easy Trump victory.
Right?
It lays out these 7 potential game changers, and we're going to dissect whether they hold water.
Okay, so let's just kick things off with the whole polling situation.
Okay.
The article suggests that many polls showing a tight race might be skewed, especially those from partisan groups leaning towards the Republicans.
Right.
They even mentioned the Trafalgar Group, the same folks who predicted that infamous red wave in 2022 that never materialized.
Right, and this raises a critical point about how we interpret polls in today's highly charged political landscape. We can't just take numbers at face value. It's crucial to consider who's conducting the poll, their motivations, and the methodology used.
Exactly.
This article reminds us to think critically about polls and not let them create a false sense of certainty.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about campaign finances.
Okay.
This article highlights Harris's record-breaking fundraising over $1 billion in a single quarter.
Wow.
It's a lot of firepower to get her message out there.
Yeah.
What's even more impressive is that 95% of those donations in August were under $200.
Oh, wow.
That's grassroots support in action.
That kind of financial strength translates into real influence.
Yeah.
Think about it. It allows Harris to run more targeted advertising, especially in those crucial swing states that could decide the election.
Wow.
She can reach more voters directly and counter any misleading narratives that might be circulating. And a robust ground game fueled by those small dollar donations can mobilize volunteers to get out the vote and really make a difference on election day.
It all comes back to that famous saying, it's the economy, stupid. And surprisingly, this article suggests that Harris is closing the gap with Trump on the economy, an issue he's traditionally dominated. It seems like her focus on things like making housing more affordable, easing the strain on grocery budgets, and supporting entrepreneurs is resonating with voters.
That's right. What we're potentially seeing here is a shift in voter priorities.
Okay.
While the economy always plays a major role, it seems voters are paying close attention to how each candidate's policies would directly impact their everyday lives.
Yeah.
Harris's approach targeting those kitchen table issues might be appealing to a wider range of voters, even those who typically lean Republican.
Okay, here's where things get really interesting. Abortion. The article points out how this issue has become a driving force, particularly for women under 30. In fact, 4 out of 10 women in that age group say it's their top issue. And remember, this is all happening after 2 major events, Biden withdrawing from the race and the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade.
This highlights the profound impact of social issues on the electorate. The overturning of Roe v. Wade clearly energized a segment of voters, particularly younger women, who now view this election through the lens of reproductive rights. And this article suggests that these voters are leaning towards Harris potentially due to concerns about Trump's influence on the Supreme Court and its future decisions on this issue.
Now let's turn our attention to Trump's base while Republicans are celebrating gains with Black and Latino men. There are signs that his core support white voters without college degrees might be weakening, and this could be a big problem for him, especially in those critical blue wall states. Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, which played a major role in his 2016 victory.
This potential shift within Trump's base is a key factor to watch. Any significant erosion of support among this demographic in those blue wall states could make it much tougher for him to secure another victory. We need to delve deeper into why this shift might be occurring. Are economic anxieties driving it? Cultural shifts? Dissatisfaction with Trump's policies? Understanding the reasons behind this trend could be crucial in determining the outcome of this election.
Speaking of Michigan, the article points out the massive surge in early voting, particularly in Democratic strongholds like Wayne and Oakland counties surrounding Detroit. They've already received 700,000 absentee ballot requests. That's nearly half the total votes from those counties in 2020. Plus, there's a noticeable increase in Black early voters, a demographic that heavily favors Harris. Things are heating up.
This early voting surge in Michigan is a fascinating development. While Democrats typically embrace early voting more than Republicans, the sheer volume of requests, especially in these key areas, could point to a highly motivated and energized Democratic base. However, we need to remember that Republicans often turn out in larger numbers on Election Day, so it's too early to draw any definitive conclusions from these early numbers.
Finally, let's talk about the likability factor. We know voters have overlooked Trump's character before, but could Harris's higher favorability rating give her an edge in a tight race? The article highlights their net favorability ratings, Harris at -0.6% compared to Trump's -8.8%, and her running mate Tim Walz is the only candidate with a positive rating.
While likability may not be the deciding factor for all voters, it could sway those who are undecided or less committed to a particular candidate in a close race. Even a small shift in sentiment can make a difference. This article suggests that Harris's higher favorability rating, especially compared to her running mate, might give her a slight advantage with those swing voters who could ultimately determine the election's outcome. So far, we've uncovered some compelling evidence suggesting this election might be far more unpredictable than initially thought.
Right.
Those 7 signs highlighted in the article paint a fascinating picture of a race that's anything but a foregone conclusion.
It's like the political landscape is shifting right before our eyes. Just a few weeks ago, everyone was predicting an easy win for Trump.
Right.
But now with these potential game changers in play, things are getting really interesting.
Exactly. Let's revisit those skewed polls.
Okay.
They're a stark reminder that we need to be savvy consumers of information, especially in this age of partisan spin and social media echo chambers. It's crucial to look beyond the headlines and consider the methodology and the potential biases behind any poll.
It's like a detective game, right?
Yes.
We need to examine the evidence carefully and not jump to conclusions based on a single data point.
Absolutely.
And speaking of evidence,
Yeah.
let's dive back into Harris's incredible fundraising haul. $1 billion in a single quarter
Wow.
is a game changer.
Absolutely. That kind of financial power gives her campaign significant reach and influence.
Yeah.
It allows for strategic advertising blitzes, particularly in those battleground states where the election could be won or lost. And it's not just about the big bucks. Those small dollar donations with 95% under $200 show a groundswell of grassroots support that could translate into a powerful get-out-the-vote effort.
It's a testament to the power of individual citizens pooling their resources to support a candidate they believe in.
Yeah.
And when you combine that grassroots energy with a message that resonates with voters' everyday concerns, you have a potent force for change.
Precisely. And that brings us back to Harris's focus on those kitchen table economic issues. Her emphasis on affordable housing, easing grocery costs, and supporting small businesses seems to be striking a chord with voters who are struggling with the rising cost of living.
It's a smart strategy, especially in an economic climate where many people are feeling squeezed.
Right.
It shows that she's in touch with the daily realities of working families,
Yeah.
a message that can resonate across party lines.
And it highlights a potential shift in voter priorities. It seems that voters are looking beyond traditional party allegiances and focusing more on concrete solutions to their economic anxieties.
Right.
Harris's approach, directly addressing those pocketbook issues, could be appealing to a broad spectrum of voters, including those who might typically lean Republican.
Now let's tackle the elephant in the room, abortion.
Okay.
It's become a galvanizing issue, especially for younger women.
Yeah.
The article highlighted that 4 out of 10 women under 30 now consider it their top issue,
Right.
a significant increase since the overturning of Roe v. Wade.
The overturning of Roe v. Wade has undoubtedly reshaped the political landscape and energized a segment of the electorate that might not have been as engaged in previous elections. And this article suggests that this newfound energy is translating into support for Harris, who is seen as a staunch defender of reproductive rights.
It's a powerful reminder of how social issues can mobilize voters and influence their decisions at the ballot box.
Yeah.
And in this election, the stakes are incredibly high, especially when you consider the potential long-term impact of this Supreme Court decision.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the backdrop against which this is all unfolding. Biden's decision to step down and the subsequent power vacuum.
Right.
It's created a sense of uncertainty and heightened the importance of this election.
It's like a political thriller unfolding in real time. Now let's circle back to those cracks we discussed in Trump's base. While he's made some inroads with minority voters, his core support among white voters without college degrees appears to be weakening.
This potential shift within his base is a crucial development. Those blue wall states were key to his 2016 victory, and any significant loss of support among these voters could make it much harder for him to replicate that success.
And then there's that massive surge in early voting, particularly in Democratic areas of Michigan. Those 700,000 absentee ballot requests Almost half the total votes from those counties in 2020 suggest a highly motivated Democratic base.
While encouraging for Harris, we need to be cautious about reading too much into early voting numbers. Republicans often vote in larger numbers on Election Day itself.
Right.
So the final picture might look quite different.
It's like a political chess match with each side making strategic moves and countermoves.
Yeah.
And finally, there's the question of likability. While not always a decisive factor, it can influence those undecided voters who could tip the balance in a close race.
This article suggests that Harris's higher favorability rating, especially compared to her running mate,
Yeah.
might give her a slight advantage in attracting those crucial swing voters. But as we've seen in previous elections, voter sentiment can be unpredictable, and likability alone is not a guarantee of success.
All right, deep divers. We've reached the final leg of our journey into the 2024 election.
Okay.
We've explored those 7 intriguing signs pointing to a potential Harris victory. But now it's time to shift gears and talk about you, the voter.
Right.
This election is a nail-biter, folks.
It is.
And your vote has never been more important.
That's right. We're talking about the economy, healthcare, reproductive rights, climate change.
Yeah.
These are issues that directly impact your life and the future of our nation.
Right.
So how do you cut through the noise and make an informed decision?
Exactly. It's easy to get swept up in the drama and the back and forth.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's about the policies
Yeah.
and what each candidate represents.
It's crucial to look beyond the rhetoric and examine their track records, their specific proposals, and how those proposals might affect your life. Don't just vote along party lines. Think critically about what each candidate stands for and how their vision aligns with your values and priorities.
Remember Harris's focus on making housing more affordable, easing the strain on grocery budgets, and supporting entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
It seems like she's really trying to address those everyday challenges that people face.
That's a key takeaway from this deep dive, the importance of connecting with voters on a personal level. People want solutions to their daily struggles, not empty promises or partisan bickering.
Anyway,
Harris's approach focusing on those kitchen table issues seems to be resonating with voters who are looking for tangible change.
and let's not forget the power of those small dollar donations. Remember that 95% of Harris's August contributions were under $200.
Right.
That speaks volumes about the energy and commitment of everyday people who believe in her vision.
Absolutely. It's a testament to the power of grassroots movements and individual citizens coming together to support a candidate. They believe in this election isn't just about who sits in the Oval Office. It's about the collective will of the people and their desire to shape the future of our nation.
So deep divers, as we head into the final stretch of this election, remember those key indicators we've discussed.
Okay.
Pay attention to the polls, but don't let them be your only guide. Dig deeper, do your research, and most importantly, vote.
This election is about more than just choosing a president. It's about choosing the direction of our country. Engage in thoughtful discussions, listen to diverse perspectives, and exercise your right to vote. The future is in your hands.
That's it for today's deep dive.
Wow.
We hope you feel more informed and empowered to navigate this wild election season.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and leave us a comment below. We love hearing from you. Till next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged.
Sounds good.